Hello, fellow traders. It's Nutty Bar. And in this video, we're going to recap my 30 trade challenge. I've been looking forward to doing this video. And in this video, I am going to talk about the 30 trade challenge, kind of what got me here and why I'm doing it. And we're going to review each trade of the 30 trades. I'm going to go over my setup. Basically, I'm going to show you, hey, this is what I look for. This was my trade strategy, my setup that I was looking for each trade, the parameters for it. And then from there, we're going to review each trade and kind of summarize everything in total and just kind of go over everything that we learned and kind of my plan going forward as well. So it's probably going to be a little bit longer video, so settle in. Hopefully I don't waste your guys' time. I found this challenge to be super helpful and super insightful for me personally. I would highly recommend anyone to do it. And yeah, before we go any further, let's just dive in. The reason I'm doing it and kind of what got me on this path is, okay, just a little bit of a summary. I've been trading for almost 3 years, and I've had many ups and downs. I mean, I've blown many accounts. I've got a lot to learn. I've learned a lot, and I've got even more to learn yet. So I am going to please keep in mind, this is not me trying to tell you guys how to trade or that I've got everything figured out. Not at all. This is me sharing my journey. And hopefully it can inspire some of you and help some of you. That's really my objective. Just sharing my journey. I'm even hesitant to share my strategy, not because I think it's some great strategy. It's really quite simple. More so just because I don't know. Sometimes I don't feel qualified to be sharing a strategy. But for this video, I'm going to do it because it's obviously important. I want to take you guys on the journey of understanding what I was looking for. But we'll get to that. So basically what got me on this journey was 3 years ago, I started prop firm trading, struggling. And along those struggles, there's one book, Mark Douglas, Trading in the Zone. That book I started reading. I read that the first time right when I started trading, and it's been a book that I reread a lot. Anytime that I'm struggling with trading, that I'm just going through a difficult streak, I usually read that book or I listen to it in audiobook. And it just, I don't know, I always find it kind of gets me in the right headspace. And in the month of September was a really difficult month for me. I had a couple really nasty blowups, and I felt like my trading was just all over the place. Yes, did I have kind of a somewhat strategy? Yes, kind of. But I was also taking a lot of more, I would call random trades, or even maybe sometimes I call them willy-nilly trades, where it's like, yeah, let's try this trade out. Just let's try it out. Let's see what happens. And you enter, and next thing you know, you take a loss, and then it triggers you, and then you try to get the loss back. And fast forward 30 minutes, and we're in full-blown tilt session. And really don't like that. I really don't like that. So basically, I was reading the book again after going through some struggles, and Mark Douglas talks about a 30 trade challenge where he basically tells you, hey, close your eyes and envision the perfect setup for you. Envision a setup where you're like, hey, if this and this is happening, oh, boom, that's like the perfect setup. And you take the trade and you feel great about taking the trade. Envision that setup. And once you envision it and you know what it is, and for me, it was pretty simple. I mean, I closed my eyes. It took me 2 seconds to know, yes, this is the setup that I would go to. And then basically the challenge is for 30 trades only, just start with 30. If you do this challenge and after 30 trades, you don't like it and you want to do something else, go for it. But the challenge is for 30 trades, you only take this setup. Only. No exceptions. No, it's going to exercise your patience muscle. But for 30 trades, we only take this setup. And I don't know, something about listening to it this time, it just something clicked in my brain. I'm like, you know what? I took it as a challenge. I'm like, you know what? I can do that. I know I can. I know for 30 trades, I can do that. So I decided to do it. And that was back on October 15th was the first time we took the trade. And yeah, that's kind of what started it. And I'm going to dive in and we're just going to see what happened, what the results are. Actually, sorry, I got ahead of myself. Before we do that, I'm going to show you guys my setup. So this is my setup. I pulled a chart. I have a chart here where it will hopefully make sense, but it's really not hard to understand. At least I don't think it is. It is a very simple concept. And basically, I'm trading. I have the 21 EMA on the 2-minute chart, and I have the 21 EMA on the 5-minute chart. Those two EMAs is where I look for my trades. Those are the very key EMAs that I trade. And I think so. The 21 EMA on the 5-minute is the gold line. I did change that color, so you'll see it later on some screenshots where I changed the color. But the light blue line is the 21 EMA on the 2-minute chart. So basically, this is the setup. We wait. So if we're below VWAP, then we only look for shorts. We can't go long if price is below VWAP. End of story, period. We only go short when price is below VWAP. We only go long when price is above VWAP. This here is VWAP. So number one rule, and you can follow along on these rules. So the clear trend lower on the 2-minute chart. Again, we're just looking for a clear trend lower if we're below VWAP. Very simple. I mean, just a trending lower. We don't want sideways action. We don't want choppy like this. Like this here, this is not a clear trend. Now, once we see a pullback and we reject off of the 21 EMA on the 2-minute or 5-minute, once we reject on it, that's kind of your trigger or, hey, it's time to pay attention. And the entry short, it's a buy sell order, or a sell stop order, I mean, on a short is below basically a break of that previous candle. So we come up, we hit the EMAs, we reject. The entry is below the previous candle low. That's your entry. And then the first target is basically at the previous lows. And then the second target is a little bit up in the air. Prior, support, resistance, or, wherever you want to put your target. And again, one thing that I didn't really have clearly defined was that second target, trailing stop loss and all that. That I'm still figuring out. I don't really have a really great strategy yet on that second target. For now, I'm kind of using my intuition, trying to trail it, but also sometimes I'll just take profit if I don't like what I see. So hopefully that makes sense. And hopefully, yeah, I'm sure you guys might have some questions, but that's the best that I can explain it. So now, man, we're already at a 10-minute. I apologize. This video is going to be long. So now I'm going to just go through. These are all the trades. And also I'm going to upload this spreadsheet and all my photos, screenshots of each trade I will have a link in the description below that will have all that information. If you want to deep dive and go, I guess, look at this more. But just to save some time, I am now, this is trade number 1. And we're just going to cycle through. We have 30 pictures to go through. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on them, but I'm going to cycle through 30 trades. And then we're going to look and summarize kind of all the results and everything. And I'm just going to briefly talk about the setup. So let's get started. So first trade I took was, I remember this because it was actually not a good trade. I did not do a good job. I entered on a rejection of the VWAP instead of a rejection of the EMA. And we had also broken trend. So this was a trade I definitely should not have taken. And I graded, so each trade I kind of grade myself on, hey, did you follow the rules? And if you don't, I get an X. And this one did not grade out well. So we kind of had a rough opening start. Now, going to the second trade, this was a much better setup. We had a clear uptrend above VWAP, pulled back, tested the 21 EMA, entry of the candle, entry here. Probably one thing, could have had a little more patience on my first target and my second target. I'm going to kind of critique each trade just really quickly. Going on to trade number 3. Again, this was a good entry. We had a clear uptrend. We were above the VWAP. Price came down. We bounced off the 21 EMA. Entry was above the previous break. The first target was hit, and then we had a full stop out. This was a trade pretty early in the morning. Volatility was pretty high. And I mean, I don't think I would, maybe the only thing you could do differently here is do a little better job with trailing my stop loss. But I'm not going to be too critical on that. Now, next trade number 4. Again, clear downtrend, price below VWAP, rejection off the 21 EMA, entry here at the break of the previous candle. First target hit, second target hit. This was an A+ trade. Everything working to perfection. Now, trade number 5. Again, clear direction, uptrend, above VWAP. Again, price bouncing off of the 21 EMA. Entry here, break of this candle. First target here could have been higher. We did take profit at the previous highs. This is a trade where there's a little bit of red flags because we had previous, like kind of a double top here. This is a little bit where like there is some intuition that you have to use. And I'm a firm believer, any setup, any trader has to use some intuition when entering and exiting trades. I'm a firm believer in that. Maybe you're not. This is not like a mechanical type entry. But I try to alleviate, like I try to make it, I don't want to put too much intuition into it, but there is some. Again, I'm happy. I'm okay with this trade. Going on, trade number 6 of 30. Again, this great setup, clear trend above VWAP, bounce off the 21 EMA, entry here, first target here, second target there. Great trade. No regrets. Next trade, short entry. This was pretty close after the open. One thing I'm not a big fan of is trading right around that 9:30 open. The volatility can usually be pretty bad, but again, this was still a good setup. EMA, VWAP, we were below VWAP, trend line lower, break of this candle was the short setup. First target hit, second target hit. Really nothing I would do differently. Great trade. Next trade number 8 of 30. Now this trade, so this was the trade we just talked about. we came right back up. We tested the 21 EMA, break of this candle, entered here, and this trade, it hit my first target, reversed, and then had a full stop, not a full, I think this was a full stop out. That, again, these are times where intuition, I feel like, could I have trailed my stop a little bit tighter on that one? Yeah, possibly. But hindsight's also, it's so easy to say that in hindsight. Okay, trade number 9, 9 of 30. Again, below VWAP, trending lower, waited patiently. And again, so this is a good example where we didn't have a setup on the break of the 21 EMA on the 2-minute chart, but then on the 21 EMA on the 5-minute chart, which is the dark blue line here, we had a break, basically a good rejection off of that. First trade, the entry was right here. First target was here, and then I trailed my stop, and the trailing stop got hit. I'm still conflicted on trailing stop losses. I'm not 100% sure yet what I'm going to do going forward. That's the biggest question mark of this kind of series. Now, I need some water. This is way too much talking. Okay, now going next, trade number 10 of 30. Again, clear uptrend above VWAP. And we came down, bounced off the 21 EMA on the 2-minute entry right here. And we just failed, just petered out, did not even get to my first target. And we hit our full stop loss on that trade. And still, it was a good setup. Wouldn't change anything. That is just part of it. We're going to take losses. Next trade, number 11 of 30. So this was the full stop out we had just that previous trade. Obviously, you can see market continue to trend higher. We entered here, the break of this candle, bounce off the 21. The first target was hit, and then we trailed our stop loss, and the trailing stop loss then got hit on this trade. Again, I don't know. That's kind of one where, it is what it is. I'm okay with it. Now, going trade number 12. This was one that was not fun. I remember so vividly this trade. Pretty volatile open. We were trending higher, price above the VWAP. Finally came down. We tested the 21 EMA on the 5-minute or on the 2-minute, and entry here. Now, this was one where you could have made the argument to wait to break the basically my entry could have been here. When we have these really big long candles, that is also where I do take some discretion on the entry above the body versus above the tick. If there's a big tick where I'm sacrificing a lot of move, then I will sometimes take it above the body. This was a case like that. We did take the trade here, the entry, and we just couldn't get going. And this was very unfortunate. I tried to give myself plenty of room for my stop loss below the 21 EMA on the 5-minute, and we got shot right in the tick and stopped out basically to the tick, and then the market reversed and went to my first target. If I remember correctly, it even went to my second target, but hey, who's counting? You're going to have some trades like that. It's just how it goes. Going to trade number 13. Now, again, this, you can see this was where we got shot in the tick on this trade, and we definitely would have hit my target. Did finally take another trade, another entry right here. First target was hit. Second target, we trailed the stop loss, and we did finally get stopped out on that trailing stop loss. But this, a good trade. No, nothing I would change on that. Now, going to trade number 14. Again, good trade setup above the VWAP, clear direction, entry above the break of this candle. And we just didn't quite make it to that first target. didn't make it to that first target, and then we rolled over and took the full stop out. So again, I mean, I'm happy. I'm okay with that. Next trade, 15 of 30. We're halfway there, guys. I don't know. I hope you guys find this valuable. I find it interesting. Now, this was a day, I remember this day. This was pretty volatile. This was kind of an iffy trade to take. I usually don't like trading when we have this kind of volatility and this kind of choppiness in the opening market. I would critique this as, wait till the price settles down a little bit, maybe. But technically did have an entry here, hit the first target, but then we took a break even stop out. So not that upset about it. But this is always kind of a red flag on taking trades when it's this volatile, because with NQ, you can have a 40 points wick that just sweeps the stop losses, and it can be very frustrating. Now, going to trade number 16 of 30. Now here, this was one, it was a little bit, it ended up being a really good trade. We were in a downtrend, but we were barely below the VWAP. And one thing, when VWAP is going flat, it's always a little bit of a just caution. But we did have our entry here below the 260s right here. First target was hit, second target was hit, and it ended up being a really good trade. And this was one where we didn't trail our stop loss. We just took our profit kind of based on intuition down here at the previous lows. And here we go, trade number 17. This great setup, clear downtrend, tested the EMA, rejecting off of it. Entry here, first target, second target hit, and no complaints on that. The only thing I guess I could critique here is the trailing stop loss, but I'm not going to have too many comments on the trailing stop loss for now. Next trade, this was just a little bit after that previous trade, and this was a good setup. The trending lower break, we had a reject on the 21 EMA, but we just had a full stop out. Stopped out, and it is what it is. It was a good setup. All right, next trade, 19 of 30. This was that same day. Again, we rejected off the 21 EMA on the 5-minute and hit the first target, and then moved my stop loss to break even and got stopped out for break even. So again, I'm not going to be too critical on that. Anytime we start doing this, where we just start going sideways, like after this, I hope I didn't take another trade. This is kind of a red flag. When price just does this, isn't really giving us continuation, then it's usually a sign to just be patient and wait. All right, trade number 20 of 30. So this one, trending lower, below VWAP. We entered here, hit the first target, and then we had our stop loss here. We almost got stopped out. I remember this trade. I was in this trade for a long time, and we did finally, it did finally hit the trailing stop loss, unfortunately. And we did, I guess, make a little bit of money on that, but not much. Next trade, 21 of 30, pretty volatile day. Trending lower. We rejected off the 21 EMA. Entry here. First target was hit, and then we took a full stop loss. This was pretty frustrating day. Basically got shot in the tick again, stopped out, and really, in hindsight, having the stop loss this high, I don't know. This is one where I would probably critique and keep my stop loss above the previous high, and I can always re-enter if we get another setup on the 21 EMA on the 5-minute. This trade here, I think I had copy trader issues, and this trade didn't technically count as a trade because I was having trade copier issues on that one. All right, next trade, Trade number 22 of 30. Trending lower below the VWAP. Again, good setup. Took first profit target, second profit target. We took the profit here early. I guess if you want to critique that, we didn't technically. Yeah, we did not technically wait for our second target to be hit. Kind of got scared and just took the profit. But I don't know. Again, that trailing stop loss, I'm still trying to figure it out. Here's a good example. Here was a good setup, short entry here, first target hit. And this was a good example where just trailing my stop loss could have, could have captured an easy 40 points more. But same story. All right, trade number 24. Again, good setup, entry here below on the short. You can see we took a lot of short trades the last week and a half. First target hit, and then we got the trailing stop loss got hit for minimal gain. And it started happening quite a bit where my trailing stop loss just kept getting hit. It didn't matter what I did, my trailing stop loss would get hit. Here's another example. Long trade, good entry, hit the first target, and then hit my trailing stop loss. And I don't know why, but that's frustrating for me. That's why I'm still not sure what to do. Okay, trade number 26 of 30. Really good setup. Not really much to comment here. Break here. First target hit, second target. We did take profit a little bit early. It is what it is. Next trade, full stop out. Good entry, good setup, just no follow through. And we took the full stop out. It is what it is. All right, next trade, 28 of 30. We're almost there. Okay, entry here, good setup. First target hit. Again, we took our profit early. Didn't have the patience to wait. Actually, I think this was a trailing stop loss that I ended up taking. I don't know. I'm not going to keep talking about my trailing stop loss. Then next trade took basically a break. We rejected off the 21 EMA. I had a pretty tight stop loss on this one, thankfully, and did take the full stop loss on that. And then trade number 30 was, I only traded one micro because of the volatility. Entry here, and the first target was hit. I did take profit early on that one as well. So there you go. That's the 30 trades, kind of going through all of it. Now let's go through the results. I thought about going like back and forth between the picture and then showing the results here. I just felt like that would take too long. But here are the results. And again, I will upload this. So that you guys can see it. You can dissect it however you want, but basically, the 30 trades, this is the summary. We took 30 trades, and this is the interesting part. Of those 30 trades, we took 11 trades long, and we took 19 trades short, and we made a total. Our total profit and loss was $1,796.50. So almost $1,800 profit total, and $1,561 of that profit was on short trades. Found that pretty interesting. So it was pretty lopsided towards the shorts. Now, if we look at, let me just switch here. If we look at the daily chart in the last month, October 15th, so I was this right here on this candle is when I started. And we had some pretty wicked moves, but toward the end, we did have some really nice, I guess, short days, but that's just how the cookie crumbled. Okay, let's just go over some of these key numbers. Overall win percentage was 60. We had a 67% win rate. Our average win was $171. Our average loss was a 163. We traded a total of 16 days for an average profit and loss of $112 per day, which is not too bad. I am my goal is like $150 profit per day on average. That's my goal. So we're a little bit short of that goal, but I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Overall, I think the results were great. I was very happy with it. And now just kind of to summarize, I need to end the video. We're already at 30 minutes. If you're even still here, thank you. Yeah, I know it's a longer video, but I wanted to get this out, and I don't know, this is the best format I could do it on. But my overall takeaway from this really, I mean, it was actually it opened my eyes to the value of following a simple strategy. And again, this is me, like, you don't have to trade my strategy. It's not even my strategy. I hate that term. It's the strategy I use. There is no, but I think it is important that you do have one and to follow it. There is definitely value to it. Here's what I've learned in doing this. When you have something like this where at least I'm gonna just talk about my own personal experience. When I have a specific setup that I'm looking for, I have found it is easier to accept a loss, number one. And number two, it's easier to be patient. When I know exactly what I'm looking for, it is a lot easier to be patient and just wait. If the setup isn't there, I don't take the trade. It's that simple. And it just makes it a lot more clear on what my job is. And my job is to wait until I get the setup. And once the setup happens, I pull the trigger. Use some, there is some intuition involved, but don't be scared. Don't talk yourself out of every trade. Oh, excuse me. And that's something that I found myself doing a little bit too much of sometimes. When I would start to go into a losing streak, I would hesitate and second guess every single trade I would take. And it's just, when I get in that mindset, it's very toxic. And it's usually the onset of me going on a really bad streak and having a blow up. And it just helped me with clarity. It's really just about clarity and knowing, okay, this is the setup that I need to look for. If I don't get it, I don't trade, period. And then, yeah, just being patient and then accepting your losses. If the trade doesn't work, it's okay. You did your job. I did my job. I entered the trade. I entered the stop loss. And if it loses, it's okay. That's the big takeaway for me. Overall was just that basically, hey, it just makes things clear for me. It's much easier to walk away and accepting red days, accepting the losses, and knowing what I'm looking for. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys found this valuable. Again, I'll upload the spreadsheets. Comment down below if you have questions. I'll do my best to answer them. And yeah, I think that's it. That's a wrap. If you're still here, thank you. 34-minute video. I know it's long. It's got to be almost a record for my channel. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed doing the video. So hit the likes, hit the thumbs up button if you don't mind. And we will see you guys in the next video. Take care and God bless.